The new moon in Aquarius happening on January 29th is all about holding on to hope and optimism in an increasingly dark and uncertain world. And this new moon happening on January 29th really has a lot of hope and optimism and good fortune to it. Even while shadowy things are happening geopolitically, especially in the United States with the inauguration of you know who. And that's because this new moon in Aquarius is making a really nice aspect to Jupiter, the planet of hope and optimism and growth and good fortune. So let's talk about the astrology and what it all means, and especially what it means for your sign. Hey, I'm Alexander Creek, astrologer and intuitive. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure that if you are liking what you're seeing, that you like the video, that you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. And if you're listening to the audio only podcast, make sure you subscribe there as well and leave a 5-star review. So today we're going to be talking all about the astrology of the new moon in Aquarius happening on January 29th. The astrology kind of happening around it for the collective, what it means. And we're going to be talking about the astrology for your sign. So make sure to leave me a comment below. Maybe let me know what you hope to manifest, what kind of seeds you're planting, or kind of generally kind of what's going on in your life as it kind of relates to your sign. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so first up, let's talk a little bit about the astro weather happening surrounding this new moon. So first of all, we had a really interesting, really intense aspect of the sun in Aquarius conjunct Pluto, the planet of the underworld, the planet of power and intensity and transformation, both in the sign of Aquarius, right on January 20th, which happened to be Inauguration Day. And this is a very Pluto can represent dark, shadowy energy. Pluto represents like the powers that be, hence like billionaires and corporations is something that kind of Pluto represents. Because if we look at the term like plutocrat, it's like people with the power, people sort of wielding these sort of levers of power. And that is an energy that can really stimulate a lot of fear in all of us. And knowing, how many, and I try not to be like overtly political on my channel, just because I want to talk about the astrology, but as a gay man, as a queer person, as someone who's interested in the rights of other underprivileged groups or minorities, it was a very scary thing to witness, all of the executive orders put forth by the new president. And what is interesting is, we kind of knew that would be the case. We knew that looking at the astrology too, it's sort of like someone trying to concentrate power under that executive branch. And when I was sort of doing a little research for this video, I was looking in one of my books about planetary transits, and it's called Planets in Transit by Rob Pan. And he was talking about when you as an individual, when you're having a Sun conjunct Pluto aspects, like for you as an individual, not as a collective. One of the quotes he said was, "You may have to contend with a person who is trying to exert unreasonable power over you today." And I thought, how apt is that for the collective? Essentially, one person sort of trying to, exert their will over the collective. So, that is a very intense, very fearful energy. And it's hard to have a sense of things will be okay underneath the shadow of that Sun-Pluto conjunction. And it is sort of signaling maybe kind of what we can expect a little bit from Pluto and Aquarius in this new era as well. Because we've already talked about Pluto and Aquarius, if you've been watching me for a while, themes of rapidly emerging technology, artificial intelligence, things of that nature, I think will be kind of coming to the forefront with Pluto and Aquarius here. So we're sort of dealing with the aftershocks of that energy with this new moon. But like I said, this new moon is a fortunate one on a personal level. Right around this new moon as well, we will have Mercury, the planet of communication, will be conjunct Pluto during the new moon. It'll be conjunct Pluto like a day or two before making that exact conjunction, but that influence will still be there around this new moon. So On a collective level, there's a lot of sort of like intense probing thought and sort of research being done, maybe how to proceed in this new era. People talking about maybe how to proceed on the different kind of splintering of social media that we're seeing right now. I think it's very interesting how people are going to all these different platforms, especially when we have Jupiter, this planet of expansion. It's in an air sign, and it's in Jupiter is in Gemini right now. It will be in Gemini until about June 10th. It's been there. It's going to be for about a year, essentially. And Gemini is, the sign of how we all communicate, where we all gather. These sort of third spaces where we can kind of share ideas and connect and talk. And it's interesting because Jupiter in Gemini seems to have this kind of scattering effect, especially because air signs do that. Air blows stuff around. It blows leaves around, and stuff sort of in our outside kind of physical world. So it's kind of interesting to see just on an astrological level, everyone kind of going to different platforms. So for you personally, around this new moon, Mercury conjunct Pluto, this is actually good energy to do research and investigation. Your mind is going to be very stimulated, either to like sort of find the answer to something, to sort of look beneath the surface, to look at kind of previously held secret information. It's also interesting to kind of looking back at that Sun conjunct Pluto energy that I was talking about. The sun is a bright thing that illuminates things, right? And it's sort of like that day, January 20th, it's sort of making plain what the agenda is of this incoming administration, right? It's sort of like the sun is sort of shining a bright light on these shadowy things. It's sort of like, no, here is our agenda. Here is what we are going to do. So this Mercury conjunct Pluto aspect on a collective level, it's kind of like we're all talking about it. On a personal level, this is a good time to conduct some sort of research of your own with whatever personal things that you have going on, to do research, to do some kind of investigation. It's sort of like it's sort of like very kind of doggedly looking for the solution to something with this aspect. So looking more at the energy of this new moon. So we have this new moon will be on January 29th. Let's see, what day is that? I think that's a Wednesday. This will be Wednesday, January 29th, about 5:20 in the morning. If you're in Denver, Colorado, you can kind of adjust that to your time zone. It's going to occur about 9 degrees of Aquarius. So, Aquarius is the sign of humanity, essentially. It's a sign of like humanity as a collective group. And Aquarius is also very much about like intellectual thought as well. And this is a very kind of intellectually kind of socially oriented air sign. Traditionally, it is governed or ruled by Saturn, the planet of limitations and boundaries and finality. And, in modern astrology, it's ruled by Uranus, the planet of revolution and like innovation. And I can see how you get that with Uranus. However, I do tend to use more traditional rulership. I still think Uranus is important. There's definitely a Uranian connection to Aquarius. Aquarius is often like the outsider, sort of uncompromising in its ideals, not afraid to be different, essentially, very much about marching to the beat of its own drum. Even while there's this theme of like coming together as a group or a collective of humanity and sort of looking at like, how best we can proceed, what are like the best needs for all, is very much a theme of Aquarius. Possibly because Aquarius, when we look at the dynamic between Aquarius and its opposite sign, Leo, the sun rules Leo, right? The sun is bright. The sun in Leo is sort of like individualistic and kind of like you're about your kind of uniqueness and what sort of makes you shine. And when we look at Aquarius, it's sort of like the opposite. It's like us as a group, us as a collective. So themes on where humanity is going as a whole will dominate this new moon and kind of like what is going to happen sort of in this new era. And so while all this sort of fear is being stoked, what I want you to pay attention to is this following aspect with this new moon. The most important aspect with this new moon is that it is trine Jupiter. Trine is a very harmonious, flowing aspect. The new moon is in harmony with Jupiter, essentially. So Jupiter is in Gemini right now, and the new moon trine Jupiter sort of gives a some sort of tone that you can tap into, an energy that you can tap into of like hope and optimism and actually some good fortune. And this may not be necessarily good fortune for the collective necessarily, but this is like whatever personal endeavors you have going on, whatever seeds that you want to plant under this new moon, there's some magic to be worked here, like witches and magicians and all of us like are going to be doing our thing and no matter what the world is doing. And I would encourage you, if you feel like there's something that you want to start to give birth to right now, whatever seed you want to plant, to do it no matter what is sort of going on around you and sort of stay focused on your personal vision. So this energy with the new moon trine Jupiter is really about like looking toward the future. There will be a tone in the air of like looking at like what is the best sort of general welfare for, the collective. It's definitely going to be different groups of people thinking that they know the answer, because we have obviously one group that wants to expel a lot of people from the country, that wants to have everyone follow like the same religious system. And that is sort of the shadow side of Aquarius too, is thinking that you have all the answers and that your beliefs and how to sort of run things are best. So that's definitely kind of one part of it, but on a personal level, there will be maybe personal solutions on how to help people. There's more of an energy around like connecting to kind of connecting to like spiritual thought, or sort of like connecting to like the because Jupiter can often be about like religious and spiritual things. So connecting to sort of like the divine right now, things around like what is ethical, what is moral, really kind of comes through with this new moon as well. And so people kind of think that they have like the moral high ground. But I'm going to say on a personal level, like you might just feel like a little bit more charitable under this new moon. This is a good time to help other people. And when it comes to your personal vision, this is like thinking about, what do I want to be doing 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Like, what is this sort of grand vision that sort of I'm going to kind of giving birth to? This is very much a intellectual kind of thought oriented energy. We have new moon in Aquarius in a very kind of mentally, brainy energy kind of. Aquarius is very visionary energy, right? So you're going to want to tap into this on a personal level. And then looking at this trine to Jupiter also in Gemini, it's really going to be stimulating a lot of ideas, a lot of mental thought. This is a good time to kind of get your journal out as well and kind of organize your thoughts and maybe write down some intentions of like, what can I start doing today that is going to manifest for me in some kind of harvest, months from now, years from now? What am I looking at kind of long term? And what else are we talking about? So what has begun now around this new moon? It doesn't have to be on the exact day. It can be a couple days after, or just sort of putting your intention out there. What has begun now may grow or prove to be beneficial over time. There is a fortunate energy to your efforts, or whatever magical practices that you may be doing right now, right? Granted, Jupiter is retrograde right now, so it may take time for like the fruits of your labor to blossom, or the effects of your magic or whatever it is that you're doing to kind of manifest. I would still put it out there though. So again, really fortunate energy around this new moon in Aquarius for you personally. One thing that I wanted to mention is that because Saturn is the traditional ruler of the new moon, we kind of want to look at the condition of Saturn and what it's doing, what aspects it's making, how it's going to be the other planets in the sky. One thing I just want to mention is literally just the sign that Saturn is in. Saturn is in Pisces, and we really want to be careful not to become lost in fear and hopelessness and complacency while Saturn is in Pisces. It's like, because Saturn sort of can govern the themes associated with Saturn, sometimes it's fear, like it's the things that we are afraid of. And Saturn and Pisces can be like a general sense of hopelessness or victimhood and like letting someone else sort of control the narrative. So you have to remember to continually come back to yourself, to find your center, to ground yourself and connect to your power, especially during like the next 4 years, and whatever the hell is going to happen. It's like you have to remember to find your center and not let, you know, people who are feeding on your fear kind of dominate the message. And remember, that you're a powerful little spark of God, essentially. So remember that you have power too, and to not give that away around this new moon. And just remember that just in general going forward with Saturn and Pisces. So what themes are going to be brewing for your sign? What topics in your chart might have kind of this fortunate kind of energy around this new moon? What seeds might you want to plant? Let's go ahead and find out. So a reminder, when you're watching your horoscope or listening to a horoscope, you generally want to listen to your rising sign first, or put priority on that rising sign horoscope, as that's how astrologers kind of make horoscopes. It's going to be the most maybe literally accurate to your life. I might blend in then your sun sign or your moon sign. I wouldn't do maybe all three. It's going to be a little bit too much, but I'd pick your sun or your moon, maybe like whatever resonates more. If you know that you're born in the daytime when the sun is out, maybe listen to your sun sign. If you know that you're born at nighttime, I might listen to that moon sign over that sun sign. So let's go ahead and talk about this new moon for the sign, starting with Aries. We're going to go through the order of the zodiac. Remember that you can find the timestamps on the audio version. Just click under episode notes. It'll be right there. And on YouTube, you can just click directly on that chapter in the episode details, and it will take you right to that rising sign. So let's go ahead and talk. Okay, Aries, we have for you, your new moon is happening in your 11th house, and it's trining Jupiter in the 3rd. So one thing I would say to you is this is a good time to start something or to reinvigorate something when it comes to like groups of people, like groups that you belong to, that you all have a shared purpose, some kind of organization, something with your colleagues. It's like this would be a good time to it's like something where you're coming together for a shared purpose, and there's something maybe involving local community here as well. So this example could be like, okay, I'm joining this sort of group so we can all like learn astrology together. Or there could be an opportunity from like, there could be an opportunity like relating to some sort of like professional group that you're in. This could also be a good time to simply look at kind of what your vision or hope is for the future, like what things that you're wanting to manifest. Because the 11th house where this new moon is happening for you does sort of rule your hopes and wishes for the future. Now there is this connection to Jupiter in your 3rd house. So there could be something like, you're coming together in a group for something, maybe something connecting to a communication project, something connecting to your local community, something that maybe where you're engaging your mind or learning something new as well. For you, it literally is, I think, about groups coming together and something connected to your local community, because Jupiter is in your 3rd house right now, expanding anything around local community, around neighbors. It could be something related to siblings or even communication projects or learning something new. It's like whatever you're doing in groups is going to help that 3rd house related communication thing kind of grow and blossom. So Taurus, the new moon for you is happening in your career sector. This wouldn't be a bad idea to think about how you can grow in your career, how you can increase your stature. This might be time to sort of look at your goals and your ambitions. This could be a time definitely when maybe there is some kind of new opportunity that does present itself, especially that is going to maybe increase your finances or help with finances in some way, maybe give you more money, maybe maybe you're bringing in another source of income. Maybe you're thinking simply about how career is going to help you build wealth. That is because we are looking at this new moon trining Jupiter in your 2nd house right now. And you really, for the past few months since May of 2024, have really been looking at how to grow your wealth. Maybe you're simply spending more. Maybe you're just thinking about how you can sort of increase your finances, or there's some sort of luck or opportunity with Jupiter here. So there is a link between these two on growing career and also linking that to your finances. Oops, I am looking at the wrong day. Okay. So, Gemini, this new moon is happening in your ninth house. This is an excellent time to begin a course of study, to be looking at kind of broadening your mind in some way, something with higher education, something with spirituality, something, maybe it's connected to other cultures or travel, something along those lines. This is a good idea to kind of get in touch with like divine source. This is a good time to like learn astrology or something connected to that, because the ninth house does rule astrology as well. So anything with, and also I'd say, I don't know if I mentioned travel, but I would say travel for you as well. This is a good time for you to just kind of think expansively, just for you in general, because this new moon does link to Jupiter in your sign right now. Jupiter is going through your first house of self and identity, things that you create. That Jupiter has been in your sign since May of 2024. Granted, Jupiter and Gemini has not been the easiest transit, because it's sort of had to contend with like, there might be feelings for you of expansion and then blocks, expansion, blocks, or one step forward, two steps back kind of during this transit. But I would really focus on saying yes to things, saying yes to different opportunities. Maybe this would be time for you to like promote yourself in some way, but I just kind of want you to think expansively. Like, this is not the time to sort of play small, even if you're kind of just looking, like looking at your dream board and like working on your intentions, something like that. It doesn't have to be something tangible, but I do feel like you're connected to the universe a little bit more. You're connected to your guides a little bit more. You're connected to what sort of divine source is sort of, help. It's just trying to help you expand a little bit and kind of maybe get out of your self-imposed limitations. For Cancer rising, this new moon is happening in your 8th house. So this is going to be connected to shared resources and finances and other people's backing. So this is things like investments, loans, lines of credit, your retirement, maybe your partner's finances, any kind of resources and finances that you are tied up with that is not directly a paycheck to you. This might be time that you are looking at, like, frankly, like what happens when you kick the bucket, right? Like, who are you leaving your money to? This might be time to think about, like, again, like your estate, what happens when you pass away, because the 8th house is like really a lot about like death and taxes, frankly. This could be time that you're sort of having some sort of new financial kind of endeavor. Maybe you're investing somewhere, or maybe, what I do kind of feel like this is maybe there is a very kind of spooky, not spooky, oh my God, that's the wrong word, spiritual kind of undercurrent to this energy. This new moon energy is sort of happening for you in the background. It could be also that maybe you're really kind of ready to let go of some psychic and spiritual, psychological baggage that's maybe been holding you back. Because this new moon is occurring in your 8th house, which can also be sort of buried emotional trauma, and it is making a link to that Jupiter in your hidden 12th house, sort of all about things that are hidden to you, about, like retreat, isolation, your subconscious mind. This is a very interesting new moon that I just think things are happening underneath the surface, or happening in a very hidden way for you. And again, it could be literally about that shared resources, shared finances, maybe things connected to that have some sort of hidden blessing to you, because Jupiter going through your 12th house can often kind of bring blessings in disguise. But I'm going to say this could also be a good opportunity to just kind of release something that's sort of been plaguing you, or something that's been holding you back that you haven't even realized, is sort of what I am seeing for you with this energy. I'm going to say spiritually regenerative is kind of what I get for Cancer rising. For Leo rising, this new moon is happening in your 7th house. So this is maybe something very fortunate connected to partnership and relationships. So this could be a reinvigoration, a new thing connected to business partnerships, connected to romantic partnerships or platonic partnerships. just something in your one-on-one relationships. Your one-on-one relationship space is getting there's something transformative happening for you long-term as well, just because Pluto is going to be in this part of your chart for like the next 20 some years. So, whatever happens in your seventh house right now, it's just happening with like a little bit more intensity. There's something fortunate about you and friends, you and colleagues, you and people. There's something about people that are helpful to you right now. Because Jupiter is in your 11th house. It has been there since May. It's going to be there until June 2025. So June of this year. So there's something new happening for you in partnerships connected to colleagues, friends, associates, people professionally that help you, or people simply that other people can frankly, like I'm just saying a lot of words right now. Colleagues, partnerships, friendships are all feeling very beneficial right now. And it does feel like there's some opportunity possibly that's kind of happening here. It doesn't even have to be like this major thing. It can just be like, my friendships are really helping me out right now. It's really good time to be my friend circle. Like there's something invigorating. Virgo rising. This new moon is happening in your 6th house. So this is something I'm feeling probably connected to, possibly connected to work for you. Because it is linking to Jupiter in your 10th house of career. So this is a good time to kind of get some kind of new energy going in your workspace, how you work, where you work, who you work with, what your job title is. There's something happening there. So if you've been looking for work or looking for freelance assignments or something like that, this is a good time to really be planting the seeds and be putting yourself out there, because this will pay off for you in your career. Whatever's happening for you in work, whatever new thing, whatever new intention seed you're planting will help you in your career in the long run, because this is making a link to Jupiter, that planet of expansion, in your 10th house of career, your goals, your ambitions, your public reputation. This is just something to maybe quietly begin something, because there's just this beautiful link between work and career for you right now under this new moon. I'm going to say also, this also could be a health thing too. This could be some sort of new health protocol, new thing that you're doing to take care of your body and physical health that maybe will help you, that will just kind of help you in general. Because again, ever new thing, whatever fortunate thing that you are doing now regarding health will kind of grow and become, will kind of like expand or have like other kind of consequences that are probably going to be beneficial for you, because it is, again, hitting Jupiter, which is all about growth. So I like the energy for you. Libra, this new moon for you is happening in your 5th house. So this is, let me see. This is a good energy for you to maybe begin some sort of creative project to sort of reinvigorate your creativity. It could be something connected to a child, pregnancy, or childbirth. Perhaps like your child is having a new opportunity. It doesn't have to be just directly you. It could be about your children or your 5th house experiences. So things around children, when your child gets an opportunity, maybe we find out that, I don't know, it's something like, hey, let's try having children. It's something maybe connected to that. It could also just be something in your love life. I mean, like if you are single, this might be a time when you're like, I would like to get back out there. I would like to try dating. I would like to kind of it's sort of like, I would like to bring some sort of joy to my life, regardless of whatever is happening out in the world. I want to have some more fun. I want to kind of stoke this I want to just have like, some pleasant kind of fun, like experiences. Also anything connected to like recreation, the things that you do for fun. Like this is like, I would plant a seed here with this energy. There could be some connection with this energy, with this new moon in your 5th house, to maybe things that broaden or expand your mind, to spirituality, to maybe people from other cultures. Or maybe you're also thinking about like tying together this fun kind of, the seed of new things in your fun, love, recreation, creative life that is tied to maybe travel or tied to sort of overseas kinds of things. Simply because it is hitting Jupiter in your 9th house of long distance travel, higher education, other cultures, and spirituality. So that's what we have for you, Libra. So Scorpio rising, this energy for you is happening in your fourth house. So there is something, there's this new moon, the seed being planted is connected to home, family, where you kind of put down roots, your residence. And it also could be connected to like family money or family wealth or, um, perhaps, so like, for instance, this might be a good time to start investing, to looking at your retirement, to looking at your future, because the fourth house is also sort of about like, it's the things that are under the earth because it's at the bottom of the chart. So it can often have to do with like death, right? So if we're looking at this fourth new moon here, new things having to do with family, with home, with things that are permanent, including death, it's like we kind of, and it's hitting eighth house Jupiter here, which is like shared resources, other people's money. It could be like that there's maybe some sort of family money opportunity, or we are thinking about our long-term security, right? Our long-term security, putting money into something that will grow over time. Um, this is also a good energy to put out some food for your ancestors, to sort of begin like a spiritual relationship with your spirit allies that are sort of like your dead relatives, essentially, that are like, your ancestors, because fourth house sort of is about your connections to your spirit allies who are passed over loved ones that are kind of supporting you. At least I look at it that way. So in a very mundane sense, this could be a time that, hey, I'm looking at moving, I'm looking at changing homes, I'm looking to add on to my home. I'm looking at a line of credit or something, or a loan connected so that I can improve my home, or something connected to property. It's like things connected to land, property, home, family. Essentially, things that are connected to finances are favored under this new moon. But generally speaking, this does make me feel like something that's more private. It's like a more privately kind of felt new moon. So we'll see what happens for you with that. But definitely a time to think about long-term wealth, I would think, with this energy. Sagittarius, this new moon is happening in your third house. Something new connected to local community, connected to like your daily, like mundane kind of routines. This might be a time that I might like refresh my altar also, and connect with like goddess energy a little bit too, because the third house sort of connected. The third house is like the realm of the goddess, so I would think about, if you feel called to it, refreshing your altar, maybe pulling a tarot card or something, and just kind of reinvigorating that practice. Especially anything connected to like communication or learning something new or journaling is really favored under this new moon. Also, anything with neighbors or siblings can feature here as well, or people in your life that you grew up with that like feel like siblings to you. There might be an opportunity involving them. Whatever is happening maybe with these third house relationships, neighbors, siblings, people like your, people and like your sort of immediate environment, there's something maybe favorable about maybe partnering with them, or collaboration with, there's something about like collaboration and relationships connected to communication projects, learning something new, but also like those neighbors and siblings that I talked about. So there might be something there as well. Or maybe like beginning some kind of communication project or learning something new, but it's sort of tied into like maybe we're doing that with other people. Something, it's because Jupiter is in your third house of alliances, partnerships, one-on-one relationships. So like the more you collaborate with others, and like get along with other people, the more opportunities you're going to have. But it just feels like you're going to have a busy communication space under this new moon. So Capricorn rising, this new moon is falling in your second house of money. Your personal finances, your assets, things that you value. This is a time to maybe kind of assess, like, are we making enough money from our job? A time to sort of put out into the universe, I would like to make more money from this. Or kind of looking at your streams of income, or maybe you have a sort of new line of income coming in here. maybe coming from your job where you labor, because this new moon is trining Jupiter in your house of health and work. So it's like whatever maybe money we are receiving, we're going to be receiving from where we labor, our workplace. Um, so it is sort of good fortune when it comes to money, again, from where we are working. It also could be something connected to, because second house, I think, is also an extension of what we have in our physicality, an extension of our physical body. This might also be a time when we are thinking about health, taking care of our physical body, because it's what we have on this earth, right? It's what we have, we're walking around in this meat suit. We may as well make it so that we are as healthy as we can be. Or working on your health somehow is tied to sort of making more money. There's something connected to that with this energy for you. Aquarius, this new moon is happening in your sign. Lucky you, it is a new moon that is trine Jupiter. So this would be, this is sort of time to sort of enter your new area. What the hell did I say? Enter your new era. This is sort of time to think about, what do I want to leave in the past? What am I excited to start fresh, to start new? What seeds do I want to plant? This is a time to sort of get inspired to what do you want to create? Not just being in the passenger seat, but what do you want to create? What do you want to manifest as a divine being? What are you trying to sort of, what do you want to work on now? Especially because, Pluto is in your sign now. It's going to be there for like the next 20 some years. You're going to be just more intense about everything. It's like, whatever you do, whatever you set your mind to, you have a little bit more power there to accomplish it. A little bit more single-mindedness, even obsession, when it comes to your kind of overall personality. There's more of an intensity now. So you might want to think about, like, what do you want to achieve now? What do you want to do with this maybe newfound power that you're feeling? Especially there might be a link to fortunate things happening in either your love life, because we have Jupiter in our fifth house. This could bring more expansive things connected to sort of romance, creativity. We might just be feeling more creative under this new moon. Things connected to children. Sometimes people when they have Jupiter going through their fifth house, it's maybe a time that they get pregnant or adopt a child, or their relationships with children are just expanded somehow. It could be some sort of lucky opportunity around your child. Your child could kind of be soaking up this energy or have some opportunity kind of their way. This also could be time when you're like, this might be time to sort of like start like a new hobby or start some sort of new interest. Things that just make you happy for the sake of making you happy. It's like okay to do that sometimes, and that's what this new moon might really be representing for you. So Pisces rising, this new moon for you is happening in the 12th house. This is more of a hidden energy for you, more of an energy that is sort of happening in the background. This would be time that I might really kind of, this would be an energy that I would be trying to sort of talk to my guides or my ancestors. Like, this is a new moon that I would sit down, get out my tarot cards, get my crystals, light candles on my altar, and really kind of ask the universe, okay, like, what do I need to know right now? Because it's sort of like this new moon, it's like there are new beginnings, seeds being planted, and opportunities in spaces where we are alone, where we are sort of where we're just a little bit isolated. This is my bedroom with the door shut. This is me being out in nature. This is me sort of getting answers from the unseen forces that are really around us right now. This also might be time to if you want to like set your attention around this, around maybe clearing some like beliefs or subconscious patterns of like things that really kind of weigh us down and we don't even realize it. This is connecting to Jupiter in your fourth house. So there could be something fortunate around family, around where you're living, around property, some kind of benefit that's sort of coming from your family members or where you are living around this time. Maybe sort of like blessings that are sort of like kind of out of nowhere, or just like hidden blessings that are coming from family or family members, this would also be a really good time to sort of start a spiritual practice of connecting with your ancestors as well. That would be very favored under this transit. Beginning that relationship with your spirit allies so they can, help you essentially. So, okay, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the information on the new moon in Aquarius, and let me know again what's going on for your sign. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, and I will see you next time. Happy new moon, everybody.